We all probably know someone like the man in this picture, maybe our dads. A frugal person who is always griping about how much electricity you are using or how long your showers are. Perhaps you have even shared a laugh or two at their expense. But as adults, you may find that you have something to learn from a frugal miser.
As teenagers, I know that all of you have thought about what life would be like as an independent adult. There are many wonderful privileges that come with adulthood. However, there are also responsibilities. In this lesson, we will be discussing some of the bills that you will be responsible to pay as an adult.
When you move out on your own, you will most likely rent housing. There are many options and things to consider about renting. Rent is something that you pay monthly. How much rent you pay depends on a variety of factors. The location, size, quality, and amenities of your rental will raise or lower the price. Now, as a renter on a budget, you will need to decide what features are most important for you and consider giving up the rest. For instance, if you want to be in a convenient location, you might have to give up some square footage. A rental agreement is a contract you sign promising to live in a rental for a certain period of time. A normal lease agreement is 1 year. If you do a shorter lease or for 6 or 3 months, your rent will probably be higher. Renting an apartment has lots of advantages. Apartments often have community pools and fitness facilities that you cannot get with renting a house. Apartments usually have a cheaper monthly rent than a comparable house. Apartment utilities are often cheaper and are sometimes even included in the rent. However, apartment complexes can sometimes be noisy and parking is limited. Some apartment complexes have a reputation for being unsafe, while others, like the one pictured here, has a gated entry with a guard. So be aware that there's a wide range available. Renting a house is generally more expensive than an apartment, but you get more space both inside and outside. Renting a house has more privacy, but it may not be as secure as like a gated apartment community. Regardless of what you rent, you will need rental insurance. Rental insurance protects your belongings in case of something bad happening at your rental, like theft or fire. It also protects you in case your actions cause damage to the place you're renting. Rental insurance is usually an add-on to car insurance, and it costs about $12 to $20 a month.
It's easy to think that if you find a nice place to live with a price that you can afford, then you're all set. But there are lots of other expenses on top of rent that you have to consider. There are a variety of utilities you have to pay on a monthly basis. And as I mentioned before, sometimes apartments cover a few utilities, so be sure and check to see what is covered. If you can't find information saying it is covered, assume you have to pay the following fees.
Electricity can vary on time of year and usage. For a 2-bedroom apartment or a small home, you will probably pay about $100 a month in our area. Natural gas is a common bill in the South. You probably won't have to pay this if you're in an apartment, but most houses' heat are gas-powered, so expect to pay about $70 a month during the winter if you rent a house. Water is another monthly bill. In our area of South Carolina, water is pretty cheap. You will probably pay about $20 a month for an apartment or a small home. Internet used to be a luxury product, but now it's a basic necessity. Internet can get pricey depending on the package that you get. For a small apartment or home, expect to pay between $40 to $60 a month. You will also need to pay for trash and sewage. If you live in the city, this might be included in your taxes, but if not, it'll be about $20 a month. Other utilities to consider is cable or some other TV provider like Netflix and Hulu. These things vary in price, so be aware, but understand that if you require every single sports channel or news channel, you will have to pay for that. As you can see, being an adult means that you pay bills, but don't let that scare you. The most important thing is about setting your expectation level correctly. If you come from a middle to high income family and you live in a relatively nice house, you need to realize that you probably won't have a house like that for a while. Remember that your parents are several years, possibly decades into their career.
Starting out, you may not have all the luxuries and conveniences that you might be used to right now, but don't let that deter you from being independent. Being an adult is wonderful. It is a great feeling to know that you're standing on your own feet and you can handle life, but you might have to change your habits to afford it.
Thanks for watching this lesson. I hope you learned something helpful as you continue with your personal finance project.